This episode is brought to you by Cisco Educational Premium. In my words, mathematics is the most powerful tool that humans has ever invented or discovered. Depends on who you ask it. Numbers form the cornerstone of how we interpret reality. It allows us to make sense of what we see and what we can't. Digital computers are very efficient because they express every information be processed in form of digits. The binary codes, zeros and ones, are the basis of digital computers. But then, what if we find more ways of representing information rather than just binary zeros and ones? Yes or no, on or off. You got the picture. This is exactly what quantum computers are yet to do. A recent paper suggests that quantum computers are used by nature. The very idea of life itself, or even consciousness and intelligence, may be based on quantum computing. But how? As a math teacher, I interact more with students. So let me use them as an example. Suppose there are two rooms, each with 50 students. The classroom door was initially closed and then opened. It's, I say, normal day. The learners are neither required to move into or out of class. They are free to do as they feel like. The question is, how will they move out? Of course, some will move out, some will not, as they are not pressured to. What else could possibly happen? Now, this is where things get a little interesting. Say we take a thought experiment, a Duncan experiment. Albert Einstein, I see you, man. Okay, let's assume that one class is a typical microscopic class, just a normal class, and the other, let's call it B, is a microscopic class at the quantum scale. Assume the learners are quantum particles whose quantum properties and behavior is significant and thus not negligible. Again, each class is opened as before. Now, the question is, what will happen? So, this is it. When the class is opened, the learners in class A will move out pretty the same way as before. In the case of class B, things will be a little different. Say the first learner has moved out. Computing the probability that the second learner will move out, we get that this is more than just 50-50 as in A. This is what will happen. Since uncertainty principle is significant for quantum particles, it means here that the probability of, and I quote, particles moving out or moving in is more than just 50-50. The first student, the particle, you get it, moves out. Then the second will have more chance of moving out compared to A. Because those who have not moved out are in a state of entanglement. They are both heading out and heading in. And so there is a chance the particle in a quote class, because we are talking here the quantum scale, quantum class, so to speak, will move out of the class similar to the first. There is a higher chance the particle will be similar to the first than not. The graph of students in classroom A moving out is linear, but that of B will be exponential, an exponential, a growing exponential, as described by Schrodinger equation. The probability density of the collapsing wave function of the particles of B will be higher. The mathematical property of understandability is beautifully portrayed by the principle of superposition of quantum states. A quantum particle can have two properties at the same time. For instance, if you are a quantum particle, you would be both a male and a female at the same time. For instance, mathematically, if two state vectors psi1 and psi2 are solutions to the Schrodinger equation, so are the linear combination psi is equivalent to a psi1 plus b psi2 of the two, where we have a and b to be complex numbers. This means these two quantum states are simultaneous. The superposition of quantum states. As per observations, the very idea of life is complex, not only because of the vast number of information in play, but also by the virtue of coordination and connectivity of the units of life. Simple organism like worm portrays tremendous coordination and connectedness, like crazy. And not that we are still describing with simple, and I quote, high organisms like vertebrates and even plants perform tasks that modern digital computers find challenging and even nigh impossible. A human infant, for instance, from computing point of view, possesses quite surprising informational coordination than expected. An AI, for instance, has to be taught everything from base level for it to run. This appears to come natural for an infant and even life. There is some sort of melting and I quote of information throughout an organism, whereas a digital computer has to move step by step. Every molecule or cell of a living organism is in a level of coordination that is just off charts. There seems to be some sort of entanglement. Wait, does this remind you of something? Yes, quantum entanglement. These are property of quantum particles where they are connected in such a way whereby random information are conveyed instantaneously. Some sort of spooky action at a distance. Sentience is a property exclusive to humans. This is the ability of an intelligent system to be awake and conscious. Usually, a digital computer may boast of immense computing power, but it's nowhere near sentience. My hypothesis is sentience and consciousness may be an emergent property of system based on quantum computing. Take our brains, for example. Instead of handling tasks sequentially, that is, as in binary, it finds the optimal problem solving strategy by the virtue of entanglement. Here, for instance, instead of the brain looking for, let's say, a cup by identifying item in its memory step by step, it becomes entangled with all the aspects of the brain encoding these items, therefore finding the said item faster and easily. Mathematically, you can say that the problem solving strategy of a sentient brain is not sequential, rather exponential, as permitted by quantum mechanics. The virtue of connectedness of information by entanglement allow relating of items, objects, and subjects required easily. And perhaps these immense and exponential relations may be what we interpret as consciousness or sentience. But the quantum computers aren't quite sufficiently functional now. Perhaps in future, we will actually be able to bring beings into existence from these machines. Cisco Educational Premium is a section of Cisco Educationals with content that is not hosted here. There are episodes ranging from long to short videos. Remember those good old shots of ours? They are there. So how do we get there? Use the link on screen or in the description or in the pinned comment below. Enjoy yourself. And I will see you in the next episode of Cisco Educationals.